Anytime the news is talking about what's really going on, he'll call a press conference to distract. And stop calling his bill his name. It's not a big, beautiful, ugly bill. It's a big, ugly, damnable, dangerous, deadly, destructive bill. We need some truth-telling. So John from IPS, come on and tell us some truth. And you know, at our rallies, we have the politicians to come to listen so that when they go back to the floor, they carry the people with them. And so, James, we thank you and others who've come to listen today. But here we go. John, tell us, first of all, the top 10 things that are bad about this bill, because it's more than just the Medicaid, and then talk to us about the deadliest part of what's going on, and then we're going to put a face on these numbers.
Thank you. Thank you, Bishop Barber. Thank you, Congressman Raskin and others who are here who will bring this message back to the Capitol. I'm John Cavanagh from the Institute for Policy Studies, and it's been an honor for us to work with Bishop Barber and Repairers of the Breach and the powerful moral groups assembled here this morning to expose to the American people the immoral budget moving through the U.S. Senate right now. This morning, we release a crucial update on our joint report, The High Moral Stakes of Budget Reconciliation, and we're also releasing new state-by-state data on how many people are projected to lose their Medicaid and SNAP through this budget. And our analysis concludes that Senator Bernie Sanders was correct last night on the Senate floor when he called the proposed budget the most dangerous piece of legislation in the modern history of this country. Our IPS and Repairers research concludes that no single act of Congress has ever added more to the U.S. deficit and to the violent income and wealth inequality that threatens our democracy.
That's right.
So I'm going to say just a few cruel facts that the research shows. One, a health and hospital apocalypse. At least 16 million Americans would lose health insurance. That amounts to 14 poor and low-wealth people for every millionaire household that would receive a tax cut. Shame. Take the state of New Mexico, where over a third of the inhabitants, a total of 714,000 people, are on Medicaid, and over 117,000 people are projected to lose it. Shame. In New York State, over 1 million people are projected to lose Medicaid. And I ask you all to look at these documents. The figures are on the coffins. North, south, east, west, over 16 million people affected by this. Tell your congresspeople, tell your senators. Then, research, and Bishop Barber just referred to this, from Yale and UPenn, have estimated that these cuts would result in more than 51,000 preventable deaths per year. That is 1,000 deaths for each of the coffins that are here today. And this is not just policy violence, it is policy murder.
That's right.
Yeah. What is it? Policy murder. Yeah. Two, on climate. As you know, storms, heat, and diseases related to climate change are killing tens of thousands and creating millions of climate refugees. Well, the Senate bill now includes more than $1 billion in new tax breaks and subsidies for the fossil fuel industry. Shame, on top of existing subsidies that will accelerate climate change while costing taxpayers an estimated $17 billion per year. This is policy murder. What is it? Policy murder. Three, hundreds of billions of dollars more for the war budget and the deportation budgets.
That's right.
This bill will add roughly $120 billion to the war budget, which eats up more than half of the total discretionary budget of this nation. And it adds roughly $150 billion to cruelly arrest, detain, and deport immigrants. Shame. These expenditures will enrich the CEOs of the military contractors and private prisons while killing thousands more in U.S. wars and inhumane detention facilities. This is policy murder.
Policy murder.
Policy murder. So I bring you to these documents.
That's right. Use
them. There's 2 of them up on the repair, 2 new ones up on the repairers website, the IPS website, the state-by-state Medicaid, 84,000 expected to lose SNAP benefits. This is policy murder.
Policy murder. And you'll never hear us at a Moral Monday criticize people on their personal failings, personal failures, because everybody has those. But what we are here in the public square is to criticize those who are using their public office to destroy people's lives. We're here for life. Healthcare is life. Standing against war and violence is life. Fully funding public education is life. Living wages is life. We are not here as a coalition of death. That's what we see going on with this murder and killing, and we're sending, and not only, every time they say we don't have the money, it's not a lie, it's a damn lie. That's what it really is. It's a damnable lie. And we have to call it out for what it is now.
All right, folks, so give you a couple of things. First of all, you see the box next to me. So what they're doing is, for earlier days, Senator Chuck Schumer, the Democrats, actually overnight, forced them to read every single word of the 900-plus page bill. No Republicans were in the chamber. Now they're voting on different amendments. So, for instance, they earlier rejected a measure that would have kicked undocumented workers off of Medicaid. That actually failed in the vote. So that's what happened there. So we're monitoring these various actions in the United States Senate. Now, after they had the speeches there in front of the Supreme Court, the plan of action was for the folks to move from there to then go to the plaza in front of the U.S. Capitol to pray. Well, what happened was they were actually stopped by U.S. Capitol Police. They closed off the plaza. Now, mind you, people were walking on it. It was open, and all of a sudden, they shut it down to prevent them from actually praying. Listen.
They restricted it today. You heard that. They just restricted it today. They don't even want to see the truth. That's why we got to keep throwing it at them. That's why we got to have media here to tell it. Look at all the people going. They're not restricted. We're just going to pray.
So, before we're down to the back ranks. Back ranks, are we down?
No, he said we couldn't.
He just told me he couldn't.
Where?
This guy right here. Come talk to him. Who said?
We were really preferring the procedure that we could get to the second bike rack where see where the people are walking.
The second back right?
Yeah. You could, correct. Yeah, this would be preferred.
Well, they can't see us.
There we go. Ready?
Prayer for the sacredness of everybody's spirit of all breath. We gather today remembering that everybody is sacred. Black, brown, undocumented, disabled, housed or unhoused. This budget forgets that truth. But we remember. We remember that 13.7 million people may lose health insurance. We will not let policy silence the dignity you placed in each of us. This is not governance. It is policy murder.
All right, let's everybody read together.
Read together. For not the powerful, O Holy One, who sides with the lowly. This death-dealing budget gives billions to the wealthy while stripping 375,000 North Carolinians of food assistance. We pray not for riches, but for righteousness.
You're in violation of DC Code 23.
Back it up. Back it up. Back it up.
I need you not coming back in. I need y'all to stay behind me. We're gonna push them up on the sidewalk. I need y'all on the sidewalk. Take everything to the sidewalk. Y'all are gonna have to all scoot back, sir. Everyone needs to be on the sidewalk. Please, all the way on the sidewalk. Y'all are gonna have to push each other back. I need everyone, ma'am, I need you on the sidewalk. I need you on the sidewalk, please. Sir, please back up, please.
The main thing is not taking this. You can't take this sidewalk. It's dangerous.
Stay on the sidewalk, please, sir.
Children, we who weep, we grieve that never should have.
Now, folks, while that was happening outside the U.S. Capitol, another group of folks from repairers of the breach actually went into the Capitol Rotunda to pray where, yep, they were also arrested. Yes, for praying. Watch.
God, we are gathered beneath this dome of political power to pray that your mercy, which sustains us, will prevail to save us from an immoral budget that will destroy millions of lives.
We have also read the budget resolution of this Congress, which calls for $1.5 trillion in cuts to life-saving and life-sustaining programs in order to give a tax break to billionaires.
When we hear the Speaker of this House parrot a regime he aims to please by calling this ugly and immoral budget one big, beautiful bill, we recall the prophet Isaiah's woe against those who call what is good evil and what is evil good.
All of our religious traditions affirm care for the sick and the dying, but this budget proposes an $880 billion cut to Medicaid, which could result in 36 million Americans losing access to health care.
But the proposed budget of this Congress threatens to take SNAP benefits away from tens of millions of our most vulnerable neighbors.
We are also here because we know that you have heard their cries and called us to stand with the downtrodden. And we repent of the ways we've all allowed the language of symbols of our faith to prop up abuses of power.
And we allow people to use your name and your sacred gifts to us as justification for a religious nationalism that has pitted us against one another.
Order our steps, O Lord. Order our steps with your love, your truth, and your justice.
You can soften the hearts of representatives who refuse to hear from their constituents.
Deliver us, Lord, from the deceptive lie that says our nation will be better off if
$1.5 trillion in cuts to life-saving and life-sustaining programs in order to give a tax break to billionaires.
When we hear the Speaker of this House parrot a regime he aims to please by calling this ugly and immoral budget one big, beautiful bill, we recall the prophet Isaiah's woe against those who call what is good evil and what is evil good.
All of our religious traditions affirm care for the sick and the dying, but this budget proposes an $880 billion cut to Medicaid, which could result in 36 million Americans losing access to health care.
But the proposed budget of this Congress threatens to take SNAP benefits away from tens of millions of our most vulnerable neighbors.
We are also here because we know that you have heard their cries and called us to stand with the downtrodden. And we repent of the ways we've all allowed the language of symbols of our faith to prop up abuses of power.
And we allow people to use your name and your sacred gifts to us as justification for a religious nationalism that has pitted us against one another.
Order our steps, O Lord. Order our steps with your love, your truth, and your justice.
You can soften the hearts of representatives who refuse to hear from their constituents.
deliver us, Lord, from the deceptive lie that says our nation will be better off if those who have little get less and those who have too much get more. Against the conspiracy of cruelty, we plead the power of your mercy.
You're unlawfully demonstrating inside the Rotunda building. If you need to leave now,
I'm trying to leave right now. Which way? Here we go. That way. Go. Hey, guys. Gotta go. Man, go.
Come out this way.
Now, folks, a number of folks have been speaking about this particular bill. And again, it narrowly passed on the first vote. One of those folks is North Carolina Senator Thom Tillis, a Republican. He voted against the bill. Donald Trump then threatened him, saying, he blasted him, saying he was going to find somebody to run against him next year for re-election. Tillis then announced that he was going to retire and not seek re-election. Well, that then caused him to take
give us a chance to speak out against the big, beautiful bill, as it's called. I don't think that they're putting out all the facts. All the people that will be impacted will lose Medicaid, Medicare, lose access to SNAP, the extra eligibility and the hoops that they'll have to go through to receive those benefits. I don't think that they're giving out all the facts to the people. They're trying to make it sound like it is a big, beautiful bill, and it's really not. It's going to cause a lot of death and a lot more poverty, separate the wealth gap, or increase the wealth gap, and just give more tax benefits to the rich.
If you don't mind me asking, is there any, with the Medicaid, Medicare tax being cut in the big, beautiful bill, is there, any story or anything you want to share with us that affects you or anyone that you know of, and even people that you've either met here in the protest or you personally?
Absolutely. I have plenty of friends and family who are on Medicaid and Medicare. I know several people that are close to me that still depend upon WIC and food stamps and SNAP. And so, again, all that stuff being cut, I have big concern for them and how they'll be able to continue living.
Folks, there's so much to unpack that is in this particular bill. It is an absolute giveaway to rich folks in corporate America. It screws low-income poor people. And all of these so-called evangelicals on the right, they are loving it. And it's really shameful. And so there's a furious effort on the part of Democrats to flip a couple of Republicans to vote against this and kill this bill. Joining us now, Dr. Ome Congo Dibinga, Senior Professor of Lecturer, School of International Service, American University, author of Lies About Black People, How to Combat Racism, out of D.C. Dr. Larry J. Walker, Associate Professor, University of Central Florida, out of Orlando. Michael Imhotep, host, African History Network show out of Detroit. Glad to have all three of you here. Larry, I'm going to start with you. The thing here is we saw what happened over the weekend. Deals were cut with people like Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski that would do various carve-outs for her particular state. Well, the Senate parliamentarian overruled those, saying those cannot be used when it comes to reconciliation. For folks who don't understand the Senate rules, by reconciliation, they could pass it with a simple majority and it not require a 60-vote threshold. So that's why they're using the reconciliation way. So that's out of the window. So what are you going to do, Lisa Murkowski? Senator Susan Collins, she voted for this. Of course, we know Senator Tom Tillis voted against it. Senator Rand Paul voted against it. He was blasting it, saying it was going to massively raise the federal deficit, and that's what Republicans were always crowing about. So hypocrites abound.
So it's interesting, Roland. This bill and debate has very reflected my time on Capitol Hill, where Republicans were fiscal hawks, right? Remember all that talk over the last several decades about, being responsible stewards. So we know that the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, has said that this bill will add over $3 trillion to the deficit, and obviously not even talking about the economic healthcare impact in terms of more than 11 million people being kicked off of the healthcare, whether it's through the Affordable Care Act and various other mechanism. So this bill is going to have a tremendous, and not in a good way, impact on the U.S. economy, particularly the lives. It's a travesty. In all my years working on Capitol Hill and following politics, I've never seen a bill like this with such a massive wealth transfer from low to moderate income families to wealthy families.
What we hear people say, what they're saying is that flat out that this could be the biggest wealth transfer in American history. That's what we constantly are hearing on Congo.
Yeah, and it's happening right in front of all of our faces. And the fact of the matter is, you spent this whole segment showing what Reverend Barber is doing, and others. We talk about this every day, and all of us here are damn near 24-hour consumers of news. We haven't seen this anywhere. A study came out today that showed, like on Fox News, the ratio of them on Fox, I'm sorry, because it's not news, the ratio of them mentioning Medicaid versus mentioning Biden is 10-1. They mention Biden more than they do Medicaid. So the people who are watching that, so many people out there don't even know about this bill, and some who know about the bill don't even know about Medicaid being in it. And so the messaging has been very problematic. Democrats have gotten a lot better on the messaging on this particular issue, but people need to be, these senators, these politicians, these Democrats, they need to be out there with Moral Mondays. They need to be out here, talking about this every day. They need to be bigging up this platform because when we're talking about this wealth transfer, I'm just so frustrated. I'm just tired of seeing so many issues in this country, and I know we'll talk more about them tonight, immigration and other stuff, of people not feeling like something's going to bother them because they feel like it doesn't affect them. This is going to affect you. Oh, I got private insurance. It's not going to affect you? You think it's not going to affect you when more people are looking for, the fewer doctors that are available, or people are flooding the hospitals or flooding the network? We can go down the list of how many things that are going to affect people who think this bill won't affect them. But it's not going to happen unless we have more people like you, Roland Martin, like Reverend Barber, who are out there telling the truth. And I applaud not only Reverend Barber, but all of the people of all backgrounds, religious, racial, cultural, gender, who are showing up with him and taking this message back to their communities. Because this is going to pass, Roland. It's going to pass. The Supreme Court and these Republican politicians have not stopped Trump on anything. They've slowed him down here and there, but they are going to give in, and we have to prepare for it.
Michael, the Louisiana healthcare system is trying to let House Speaker Mike Johnson know this is an awful, awful bill. They dropped a statement. This is literally the entire Louisiana healthcare system. You see all of these logos here, where it says they rely on. What they're talking about right here, all of those green economy, green jobs that are being slashed. They are gutting electric vehicles, tax breaks for solar, things along those lines. IBEW says, make no mistake, this bill will cost hundreds of thousands of good-paying construction jobs, billions of work hours, and hundreds of billions in lost wages and economic benefits to America's middle class. I'm sure a lot of those white electrical workers who voted for Trump are now kicking themselves in the butt, Michael. We tried to tell you.
Absolutely, we tried to tell you, and the urban area, the rural areas are going to be hurt even more by this bill. Like Louisiana, okay, they voted for Trump, former Confederate state. When we look at Medicaid, for instance, the bill is estimated to cut $1 trillion from Medicaid by 2034. Okay. Now, it's also important to understand that there's about 72 million people in America on Medicaid. 20% of them are Black. Okay. 20% of them are African Americans. When we look at, you're going to have cuts to SNAP. Okay. SNAP food assistance. Also, as Reverend William Barber correctly stated, is estimated that 50,000 people are going to die per year because health care is going to be taken away from them. The CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, estimates that 11.8 million people will lose health care over, by 2034. So this is horrific. I call it the big ass ugly bill. Okay, this is horrific. This shows the consequences of elections. But the other thing is, Roland, so this is the fiscal year budget. Have you heard anything about stimulus checks that some Black people said they were voting for Trump for? I haven't heard anything about stimulus checks, because I saw interviews with idiotic Black people saying that they were voting for Trump again because they wanted stimulus checks. There's nothing in here about that. But what's in here is going to devastate the African-American community, but devastate America as a whole. We tried to tell you.
We did. Also, let me go with the building trade unions. They also have come out against this bill as well. North America's Building Trades Union. This is from Sean McGarvey. The revised Senate draft released late last night is a massive insult to the working men and women of North America's building trades unions and all construction workers. This is not what they voted for. If enacted, this stands to be the biggest job-killing bill in the history of this country. Simply put, it is the equivalent of terminating more than 1,000 Keystone XL pipeline projects. In some cases, it worsens the already harmful trajectory.
We have also read the budget resolution of this Congress, which calls for $1.5 trillion in cuts to life-saving and life-sustaining programs in order to give a tax break to billionaires.
When we hear the Speaker of this House parrot a regime he aims to please by calling this ugly and immoral budget one big, beautiful bill, we recall the prophet Isaiah's woe against those who call what is good evil and what is evil good.
All of our religious traditions affirm care for the sick and the dying, but this budget proposes an $880 billion cut to Medicaid, which could result in 36 million Americans losing access to health care.
But the proposed budget of this Congress threatens to take SNAP benefits away from tens of millions of our most vulnerable neighbors.
We are also here because we know that you have heard their cries and called us to stand with the downtrodden. And we repent of the ways we've all allowed the language of symbols of our faith to prop up abuses of power.
And we allow people to use your name and your sacred gifts to us as justification for religious nationalism that has pitted us against one another.
Order our steps, O Lord. Order our steps with your love, your truth, and your justice.
You can soften the hearts of representatives who refuse to hear from their constituents.
Deliver us, Lord, from the deceptive lie that says our nation will be better off if those who have little get less and those who have too much get more. Against the conspiracy and cruelty, we plead the power of your mercy.
You're unlawfully demonstrating inside the Rotunda building. If you need to leave now,
you gotta leave right now. Which way? Here we go. That way. Don't. Hey guys. Gotta go. Man, go.
Come out this way.
Now, folks, a number of folks have been speaking about this particular bill. And again, it narrowly passed on the first vote. One of those folks is North Carolina Senator Thom Tillis, a Republican. He voted against the bill. Donald Trump then threatened him, saying, he blasted him, saying he was going to find somebody to run against him next year for re-election. Tillis then announced that he was going to retire and not seek re-election. Well, that then caused him to take the muzzle off, and he went after this bill and the impact, especially in Medicaid, on his